This is intended to be a quick review of the idea for talent maximization at the TDC. How do we become a beehive? We know that at the TDC, a successful project has a certain timeline where it starts and at the end commercializes and gains new revenue for the TDC and UPMC. We know throughout this process there are certain action items, such as the ones below, that need to be completed, and we hire individuals at the best skill level to complete these tasks. For example, we might have Jim working on ABC, Casey working on DEF, so on and so forth. And what we realize is that throughout this process, this timeline, there are certain barriers that are created. These barriers come from possibly having not enough of one skill or talent, or having that skill or talent maximized to its fullest ability. And the question comes to us, when we have these skills and talents, are they only capable of the actions we hired them for? Is Jim only capable of completing ABC? Is Casey only capable of completing D, E, and F? And the reality is, if we were to create a system that says here are all the items that need to be completed at the TDC, such as project responsibilities, we can begin to open the option to everyone, to Jim, Casey, Rose, Mira, to ask them what else can you complete in any given year. And perhaps even it is our objective as leaders of the TDC to identify what are the battlefield objectives, what are the most pertinent items that perhaps we would like to incentivize our personnel to step out of their day-to-day activities to complete. What we would have in this new process is the pool of UPMC employees feeding into 1, a skills inventory, and 2, the battlefield objectives that need to be completed. And in doing this process, in combining the battlefield objectives and the skills inventory, one possible thing that would come out of it is the removal of the barriers. Another possible thing is that we would have employees that would find their true love, the item that they love to work on, not perhaps just the items they were hired to do. And so, in addition to that, we would have the ability to incentivize, to say what was the normal pay that was going to come, but because our employees stepped above and beyond what was asked of them, we can incentivize that portion, and this process might be a solution for that. Here is some staff input as we were posing it to them. Brian says Agile assumes everyone is in one team and works on the maximum potential together. And he also mentioned, what if by doing this they can discover what they truly love? Lincoln and Scott said, what do we do with the folks who are already maxed out? How do we add additional work to them, or how do we make them feel not left out? Generally, there was this sentiment of what does an incentive mean? Does it have to be money or not? And many people said it doesn't even have to be that. Scott said perhaps this is a way to fuel innovation in the Skunkworks project. Adele and David said, can this be a gamification process where we reward everyone and show them a scorecard as well to compare them to one another to try to achieve more? Adam said, how do we move into this value-based budgeting where we say what is the value of a person or a value of a task as opposed to just a role or a position? Casey said, how do we become more mobile across teams? Paul said this can be used to achieve WIGs, or wildly important goals, and incentivize people to achieve the goals most pertinent to the TDC.